Hello, episode 13 now. Okay, my plan for this video is to start making this area here that's kind of finished to some degree, but what I want to do now is go back over and just basically fill in, you know, things like this, all the little gaps and little itty bitty bits that need doing. Now I've also been having a bit of a think about doing the road markings. I got some stencils to do it, but because this road is textured, the stencils just sort of, the paint bleeds from under the stencils and it just didn't really work. So I've got these self-adhesive ones, so I'm going to stick those down and see how that works. And then once we've done that, I think we might start on this little lake area that I'm planning over here, and then all going to plan, hopefully I can put in the bit that I have to go in there. So let's see how we get on. Well, that's one of those jobs that you think is going to take a few minutes, but actually they're quite fiddly, to be fair. So we've got up to there done at the moment. I still need to do the bus stop. They do give you, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, they do give you like bus stop things, so that's going to go in there. But then I've still got to do all up there yet. But yeah, it's one of those little things that really helps bring it to life, I think. So I'm pleased with that. Starting now to make my lake bit, and I'll tell you, this is one fabulously messy job, cutting all this polystyrene out of this foam board. Another messy job there. There's a product called Sculptor Mold, which I've never used before, but seems to be quite good and it dries pretty quick, so I'll let that dry. And then a bit of paint. Right, so this is my murky water, and now we pour this in here. I don't think I've got enough to fill it. It's quite deep, but we'll deal with that. That stinks. I've got some of these road markings down now. Another fiddly job, but there we go. They look good. I've also got some bleacher beacons flashing down there, and I've just put some more figures out. My marquee club, and then move over this side. I've got some shoppers outside the shops, and yeah, I've just had a bit of a good old tidy round, getting rid of all those sort of unsightly little bits. For the most part, I think we're nearly there, so looking good, I think. What else did I do? Oh yes, I put some I put some litter down there, and a few discarded newspapers down there. And there's one on that rubbish bin there as well. Yeah, so coming along nicely. Yes, and we've also got a road narrowing sign there, because obviously this road here is quite narrow, and I've got some traffic lights to go here, because the idea will be this stretch will be controlled by traffic lights, not too dissimilar to the bridge just up the road from me. So yeah, I've got a traffic light sign there as well. So as you may have noticed, this hasn't come out brilliantly. Ignore that, that's just where I was messing about with it. But the main problem here was we had a big split in the resin there. You can see it better there. I've no idea why it did that. So this was only a test piece anyway. I redid it, and thankfully it didn't split this time. So it's come out a lot better. I've got a few little bubbles and marks on the top, but I'm going to put some boats on this anyway, so hopefully we can hide those. So the next thing now is to get this foam board lowered down into this board. So I'm going to cut this board out, and then I'll put some battens underneath to hold this in place. Bit of sculpting and scenery should blend it all in. There, okay, not too pretty, but that does not matter. And then this will go in there, and then we'll put some battens underneath it just to hold that in place. Actually, look, I don't need battens, it just holds itself. There we go, fine, job done. Rightio, okay, so that's now battened in. It's not really fixed properly yet, but can now get the scenics back and see what we're going to do with it. I've just blended it all back in again. That's just got some earth texture going on underneath, and then I just sprinkled some sieved soil from the garden just to give it a bit more. There's a few little bits where it hasn't quite taken, but the next step will be to stick some grass on it, so that will get hidden over. Okay, there we go. So I've just put, what was that, 2mm spring static grass down, and then I'll go back and do some 4mm and some 6mm to build up the layers. I've deliberately left this bit here because I'm thinking of having a sort of building there and maybe a gravelly bit there. So now we'll just hoover us off. And thus it looks like that at the moment. So, and then we'll go back and do a bit more layering. Right, so now I'm going to put the next layer of static grass on, which is 4mm summer. What I should have added is I'm going to put the static grass on here and not on me, which is actually what's happened. Bit of squirty glue. Oh, Christ. This glue that is designed for this is rubbish. So I'll use this instead. Now a bit of patchy 4mm. And now some Wild Meadow 6mm. Okay, so we'll let all that dry and see how we end up. Can always put some more bits down if we need to. There we go, so that's one of my little boats that I've put on the lake, and then got another one there. So I'm thinking of having some kind of building, something like that there, make this a bit more gravelly, and we might turn it into like a sailing club, boating lake kind of thing. But I think for now that's as far as I'm going to take that for the moment. And the other thing I talked about was the bit to go in this section here to join that road up with the sort of high street bit we've going on over there. And if you remember or watched episode 3, 4, I can't remember now, I was talking about what would be a cool idea would be to do a kind of model replica kind of our house. Our house is quite big, or at least the garden is. So I carefully measured our house, converted it into 00 scale. It's massive and there is no way. So as I was putting this bit in and then going along there, it suddenly dawned on me that, oh, I could fit it in there. So that's what I've done. I've built the sort of model replica representation of our own house, which at the moment is over here because I've just been working on it over here. But I think I'll take this inside where the light's a bit better to give you a better view. But for now, this is what I've got. And I have to say, I am well pleased with this. So, like I say, I'll get it inside, get some better lighting on it. We can see all the little details I've put in. And then we'll get it into place over there and see how it all looks. And do forgive me if I get a bit carried away with this, but say I've been working on this for about 4 or 5 months on and off. Little bits here and there, and I am really proud of it. I think it's come out amazingly. So in the cat enclosure area, I've also got some little cats. We've actually got 5 cats, but there's just the 4 out there at the moment. Woody, Maya, Roscoe and Ruby. And our 5th cat, Louis, is actually in the house, asleep in his favourite place on our bed. You can't see that yet, but if I turn the lights on, there you can see them on the bed, and I'll just show you some of the other. So there's our living room. There's a tiny little fish tank in the back corner there, the sofa's table. Yeah, it's all pretty accurate. I think some of the detailing you're never ever gonna see, but it's my office upstairs, spare room. Downstairs, I think you might be able to just sort of see Callie's office in the background there, kitchen. I think the lights in the house are perhaps a little bit bright at the moment. I'll put it on the layout and dim them. I think they need a bit of resistor to tone them down a bit, but then I've also got lights in the garden as well. Right, so what I thought I'll try and do this is I'll actually walk you through our real garden, and then if I can I'll side by side them and see how I've done. So that will slot into place just there. No idea what I'm going to do here yet, but one more thing. If we come outside, you'll see I've put this little bit of decking walkway here so that you can see it from the outside as well. And the cool thing is it runs in the same direction as the real garden, and the other cool thing is those lights come with this little remote control, so I can turn the lights on, so when it's dark you can walk past and turn the lights on if you wish. I'll come back later when it is actually dark, and yeah, I will replace this window frame at some point as well. And so in the dark, there we go. You get a nice little view of it.